So the White House published their, annual Christmas video, and nobody's having it. I see some liberals, and they're like, why are you mocking Christmas? So Jill Biden puts out this bizarre avant-garde tap dance Christmas celebration, and I don't rightly care all that much, to be completely honest. However, it turns out that the group behind the performance is a racist hate group. Wow. Yeah, seriously. And so here you have, once again, the hypocrisy of the woke left. I suppose in this instance, it's Jill Biden hiring a racist hate group, like a group that quite literally has as their foundation hating people based on race, are coming in and doing a performance. Now, let's start here. Jill Biden's bizarre Hunger Games aesthetic White House Christmas video roasted by critics. So I don't know how much of the video they actually play, but it's a tap dance, which is, for the most part, like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not the biggest fan of tap dance as it is, but it's just like old-timey music and tap dancing. I don't know. Do they have sound on this one? Yeah, so there you go. You can hear it. Old avant-garde, weird tap dancing. Yeah, okay. Anyway, you get the point. I don't really much care to play just the... I guess I should play the music better, but, you know, I was trying to play the video. There you go. I don't like tap dancing as it is. I'm just going to say it like that. I don't like tap dancing. But I really don't care if they're doing a Christmas celebration or how they do it. Everybody's got different tastes. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean nobody else is allowed to have it. That's fine. And then it turns out they're a bunch of racists, and now I'm like, well, there you go. And okay, well, I think racism is bad, so let's talk about it. The White House's annual Christmas video, featuring an avant-garde tap dance performance of a timeless ballet, has been panned by social media critics for its Hunger Games aesthetic, as well as called tacky and tasteless. First Lady Jill Biden on Wednesday posted a 2.5-minute clip of New York City tap company Dorrance Dance's take on Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn's interpretation of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite. You see, like, that I just don't care about. I'm like, oh, they're doing tap dance for Christmas. Have a nice day. All right. The video features colorfully adorned sequined dancers wearing elaborate headdresses while they tap their way through a White House hallway festooned with candy cane columns to the Blue Room, which is decked out with Christmas trees and both white-colored lights alongside Nutcracker-inspired decor. The wild artistic statement, which the First Lady said contained magic, wonder, and joy, left many commenters' heads spinning, with several pining for the easier-to-digest patriotic-themed Christmas videos posted by Melania Trump. You know, I'm going to say it again. I don't care. Do your little dance. Some people like dancing. Some people don't like dancing. You know, like it's Christmas. You know what I mean? How utterly tacky, tasteless, and anti-Christmas. Melania's was tasteful, seasonal, appealed to everyone, and was absolutely breathtaking and gorgeous, said one commenter. Several users compared the Technicolor visuals something out of a dystopian film. Disney presents Clockwork Orange. Okay, I'll be fair in this regard. The people who are critical, Melania is like, she makes a video where it's just Christmas trees and it's very, I don't know, generic. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying it's like very neutral is a better way to put it. This one is, I gotta admit, I don't like it. And if they went with, Oh Holy Night and just showed Christmas trees, I'd probably be like, oh, okay, Christmas. This, I didn't even want to watch. I find it to be off-putting. And fair point. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You're not allowed not to like it. And you can argue something could have been better. But I will also stress, I don't really care all that much. And I'm not going to rag on people doing tap dance in fancy colors because some people like it and some people don't. If you want to make the argument, Melania's was more neutral and for everybody, fine. I probably would have liked that better. But I'm not here to take away someone's tap dancing or dresses or happiness over Christmas. I just move on from it, right? This has been my point when it comes to like wokeness in movies and video games the whole time. I'm like, dude, if you make a movie where it's like, we decided to make the Incredible Hulk, but this time it's a black woman, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Do your thing. I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to give you any money. So whatever. I suppose in this instance, it's a public event, and thus people expected something a bit more, and I mean this respectfully, lowest common denominator, meaning something that unites everybody and is more basic. What's with the Hunger Gates aesthetic? Molly Hemingway asked another, while Molly Hemingway panned the Hunger Games Capital District Christmas approach. Others wondered if mind-altering substances were involved in the production, such as bags of cocaine. You see, I just think that's stupid. I think it's fair to say, I don't like this. It's kind of weird, but hey, man, more power to you, right? You don't have to like something, but this idea that everyone's just like, haha, it's so gross, it's so stupid. I'm like, a little heavy-handed. Don't like it. That's fine. But then we get this tweet from my meme, Therefore I Am. It's not a coincidence that Jill Biden brought Bit of Magic to the White House by Dorrance Dance, the dance group that actively wants to abolish police, promotes BLM, pushes for trans and inmates' rights, and educates on white privilege, systemic racism, and white fragility, and anti-racism globally. Well, I'm trying to make sure it's clear to everybody. I identify as Japanese. I'm only 5% Japanese, but I have the DNA, so I get to do it. Or I'll just say this. From now on, I only identify as Korean. Everybody else can get mad about it. Go cry. The Onion has that really famous bit where they're like, how much Asian allows you to claim to be Asian? And then they had the full Asian, the half Asian, and the quarter Asian. And then they're judging people. It's funny. And then in the end, some guy's like, my great grandma was black. And they're like, you're black. Whereas Asians are like, well, my point is simply this. As someone who comes from a diverse background of civil rights advocates who fought in the civil rights era for the right for people to love each other. And that's a fact. My grandfather marrying a Korean woman back when miscegenation was illegal. Get out of here, you racist leftists. This is what they do. Educate yourself. It is our job to tell the history of tap dance as a celebration of black culture and also the never-ending struggle against systemic racism and white supremacy in this country. Okay, well, if I was going to take anti-racism, if I was going to take them seriously and seriously believe they were fighting white supremacy, I'd say sure, but they're not. Educate yourself. Questions about white privilege, systemic racism, white fragility, and anti-racism. All right. And now you get my point. Why they are a racist hate group. What is white privilege? White privilege is a lie pushed by leftists to try and justify their political attempts at stealing power. Next question. They argue that white privilege is like, and I've argued a lot to people. I believe there's no such thing as white privilege. And all you need to do is, I don't know, like go to China and assert your white privilege. Go to Japan, assert your white privilege. And they'll go, oh, but I'm talking about America. Oh, in that case, you're talking about cultural, wealth, and majority privilege. Because if you're a white person and you go to a deeply black neighborhood, you're not going to experience white privilege. If you go to an Asian neighborhood, no white privilege. If you go to a Latino neighborhood, once again, no white privilege. You know, I know this because I am from Chicago. In my area, which was fairly mixed, and you had people who were white, they got beat by the cops all the same as everybody else. Right. If you are of the majority demographic in an area controlled by that demographic, then you will have majority privilege, meaning people will assume you are like them. And that's been true for all of human history, which does mean there is racism that exists, and it's a bad thing. White fragility. And what does that mean? That is where they basically just attack you for being white. That's it. They argue that as a white person, when they're racist towards you, belittle you, demean you for the color of your skin, if you get upset, you're fragile. I suppose by that same context, you could argue that they have black fragility. And black fragility is very pronounced among the left. That these people would get offended over a kid wearing a Chiefs outfit at a football. It was a football game, right? Was it football? Yeah, it was football. And he's got black on one side and red on the other. The fact that this dude lost his mind over it shows the fragility of his blackness. Now, I don't really think that's the case. I think this guy is lying to try and get political power from mostly white people who are scared of being called racists. So ultimately, are we mad about tap dancing? No, I'm not. I mean, you might be, but I don't really care about tap. I don't like tap dancing. I don't get it. Not a big fan. But I do take issue with the White House bringing in racist hate groups to spit in people's faces and give them taxpayer dollars. That I'm not a fan of. My family fought too long and too hard for these awful, awful racists to be given prominence in this country. They're entitled to their opinion. I don't think they should be fired for their bad opinions, but I will criticize them. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.